finally getting around to talking about the Guess Girl perfumes that I have. So I got Guess Girl, the original one. This is a tester bottle, which is why I've got this random lid on it. It normally has a big flower on the top. So I got this one, and at first I wasn't sure. And then when I wear it, I'm like, okay, this is a pretty, musky, fruity floral. And it's girly. It's quite straightforward. There's nothing kind of groundbreaking about it. I do feel like it's something that I recognise and something I've smelt before, but I wouldn't necessarily be able to point out where or what it is. But it's got a really nice, girly, spring summery, pretty, very feminine smell. My husband complimented me when I wore this one. I think it's quite cute. So this is top notes of raspberry, melon and bergamot. The middle notes are orchid, lily and black locust. The base notes are Madagascar vanilla and Australian sandalwood. Now it doesn't list musk, but this smells super musky to me. And it smells musky the same way that Guess Dare does, the original Guess Dare. I love the musk in that perfume. I think it's gorgeous. So yeah, when I first sprayed this, I was like, maybe it's a bit screechy. I'm not really sure about this one. I feel like it has that kind of acidic needle through the eye scent that I get with some floral perfumes and also quite a few kind of raspberry perfumes that don't smell very like a natural raspberry. But this one, when it dried down on my skin, I thought it was really pretty. I really enjoyed wearing it. So I was like, I'm going to keep this in my collection, hence me putting this little lid on it. And to me, it kind of smells like a raspberry and orchid perfume. It's quite simple. It's not massively sweet, but it's not particularly sharp. The more it dries down, the prettier it gets. It's just a nice, easy reach, girly perfume. So I don't really have much else to say about this one. I just think it's a really safe perfume. Anyone probably could wear it easily. I think it will go with pretty much any outfit. It's just pretty. If you like fruity florals, then I think you'd probably like this perfume. So that's the original Guess Dare. And then I also have Guess Belle. So I got this one, and this, I mean, still got it for a bargain, but this one has the proper lid, so you'll be able to see it. Now, I'm just going to put it out there. I despise the lids on these things. I think they look so tacky. I know a lot of people like kind of big flowery things, but if I had wanted to keep this particular one, the chances are I would have changed this lid. So this is Guess Girl Belle, and this is the lid. So I'll read you the notes for Guess Girl Belle. So if it's kind of hard to see in this light, but this is I mean, obviously it's got the purple lid, so it's got a slightly kind of greyish purple juice in this one. This is a very pale kind of nudie pink juice. So the notes in Guess Girl Belle are top notes of wild berries and champagne, middle notes of violet, peony and jasmine, and base notes of musk, Australian sandalwood and vanilla. I thought I'd probably be onto a winner with this one because it says musk, it's got the Australian sandalwood and the vanilla, the same as normal. I like berries and I love violet. And violet and berries together I kind of dig. But this one I do find very screechy. Like there is a eye kind of needle in the eye, head splitting acidity to this one that I don't think everyone will get at all. But I cannot get on with this one. This one just does not work for me. Now, I do wonder if it might be the champagne note. Maybe there's something in the champagne note that I find like really, really piercing. That's definitely possible because I can definitely smell that there is a sweetness in here. But it's one of those perfumes, and I've had this with a few perfumes. So Ralph Lauren Beyond Romance, and the other one that smells like that, which is the Marc Jacobs Daisy. Is it Daisy So Sweet? I think it's called, in the pink bottle. That one, both of those have this kind of separation between a super sweet fruit and a super sweet kind of vanillic creamy base, with something sitting on the top that I find incredibly piercing. So there's quite a few perfumes that I get that with. I fit like Wanted Girl and Poison Girl. There's a few different perfumes that feel like they've sort of separated. I want to say curdled, but it is that kind of feel to me where I can sense what this perfume probably smells like to other people, but I have something in it that's so piercing, and I assume it's like maybe ambroxan or something like that. And it just is so sharp to me, like in a way that I can't wear. Um, and I get that one with this one, which is a shame because otherwise it is quite a nice berry violet perfume. I think you get maybe a little bit of peony. You do get that fizzy, effervescent vibe from the champagne. I don't really get a huge amount of jasmine. There's not loads of vanilla in here. It's just slightly sweetened, bit musky. You got that lovely sandalwood again. But yeah, for me, unfortunately, the berries and the violet, they are overtaken by whatever is in this that's just a bit like, a bit screechy. So that one doesn't work for me. And then we also have, this was another tester bottle, hence the lid. This one is called Guess Girl Summer, I think, is the name of this one. So Guess Girl Summer is mandarin orange, neroli and bergamot in the top. Middle notes of orange blossom, flowers, water lily and wild rose. Base notes of musk, vanilla orchid and teak wood. This is a perfectly nice perfume, but it's not one that I am crazy for. So the reason being that the teak wood in this is a little bit much for me when it dries down. It starts off being very juicy, fruity, pretty, and then you get some lovely florals through. So it's a slightly more tropical feeling fruity floral than the original. And yeah, I mean, it's funny because it does have like, it only mentions mandarin orange and bergamot, but it does smell like there's a more tropical fruit in here. Or maybe something like apricotty or something. There is a juicy fruitiness to this that I don't think is necessarily explained by just orange and bergamot. There's almost more of a kind of fleshy, less citrusy fruit smell in here as well. But then it has some lovely pretty florals, and I would say it's not entirely orange blossom. I think it's a real bouquet, like a real mixture, a real bouquet. I don't find that the neroli is overpowering in this one, which is really, really good. But the thing that with this is that as soon as I sprayed it, I thought, oh, it smells like something I've already got and something that I've decluttered, both of which smell very, very similar. So if I start off with the thing that I decluttered, because I think it smells most like that, it really, really, and I hope I don't sound mad because the notes are quite different, but it really reminds me of Justin Bieber's Collector's Edition, which is in a bottle that looks a bit like the key, but it's transparent. And it had like a little record on it instead of a key. So that one, it's really difficult to find. It's really expensive if people are selling it because it was just a limited edition. But I had a bottle of that and I did quite like it, but when it dried down, the wood got a little bit out of control. So the notes in Collector's Edition are pear, passion fruit and bergamot in the top. Middle notes of freesia, heliotrope and honeysuckle in the mid. And then the base is apricot, amber, white musk and sandalwood. And it genuinely smelled very similar to this. And it also smells very similar to something else I have. So the reason that I decluttered Collector's Edition, is because it smells quite similar to this very cheap perfume I have called Chanson d'Eau. And this is the blue one. This is Mar Azul. So Mar Azul is basically Justin Bieber's Collector's Edition, but without the kind of woody dry down and a little bit more of a creamy vanilla, or at least a vanillic sweetness. So I just happen to prefer this one because it doesn't have the wood. And I also therefore can prefer it to this one because it doesn't have the wood. Now, oddly enough, this one also kind of weirdly smells a little bit like there's a slight creamy coconutty smell in there, even though there isn't in anything like that in the list. So the top notes for Chanson d'Eau Mar Azul are apricot, blackcurrant and mandarin. Heart notes freesia, damask rose, lily of the valley. Base notes vanilla, amber and musk. And so this is the one that I'm still going to keep because I do not prefer this one to this. This one, I would say, Guess Girl Summer is slightly more citrusy, slightly brighter, not quite as sweet, and a little bit more woody. But the general profile is so similar, and the general profile of this collector's edition is so similar. But I still think, like, I mean, at the moment in the UK, you can get a 200 ml bottle of this eau de toilette for under £5, which is insane. So, but I really like this one, to the point where I'm actually going to spray this one on me after I finish this review. Super pretty. And the other thing I will mention really quickly is this also has a few crossovers with another Guess perfume that I've got, which I'm not really sure if I'm keeping this one yet, because I think it might be just a little bit too simple for my tastes. But this is Guess Seductive Blue. And this is a perfume that I think smells like a tropical fruit juice. It does have florals in it, but I don't get tons of florals. But it kind of smells like this without the florals, if you see what I mean. So this one has top notes of pear and bergamot, middle notes of peony, rosewater, freesia and cyclamen, base notes plum, amber, musk and patchouli. I don't really get any patchouli in it. But it is, again, it's that similar kind of scent, but simplified, not quite as floral, but they're all kind of in the same area in terms of how they smell. So although I think this one's super pretty, I don't need to keep it. It's not one I need to have in my collection, because I would rather wear Mar Azul. And this one I just can't get along with because I find it too screechy. The original I think is quite a it's kind of weirdly sexy in a slightly innocent way, I would say, the original. So that's my favourite of the bunch. I think it's really pretty. It's probably also the easiest one to get hold of, so that's good. So yeah, I'm just going to keep the original. I'm going to pass on the other two. But I don't think any of these are bad perfumes. I think they're all really pretty perfumes. If you can get on with the Ambroxan or whatever it is that's in Guess Girl Belle, I think that would be a super pretty, fizzy, fun berry and violet perfume. But yeah, if you're a bit questionable about that kind of thing as well, if some aroma chemicals are really screechy and sharp to you, then I think you're better off with either Guess Girl Summer if you can find it, because that was a limited edition, I think, or the original, which is just a really pretty raspberry forwards kind of orchidy floral musky perfume. Super pretty. But yeah, so that's it. That's my Guess Girl range.